You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. How are you? Welcome back. If you're just coming back from the holidays, a lot of folks are. More next week, I'm sure. I'm glad to have you. Because today, I want to talk about the one thing you can do to get success and to be really, really happy. And it's so simple. It's so little. It takes a little discipline. You got to pay attention. But you got to keep a continuous chain of activity going. We'll talk about that today just a little bit and why you should do it from a very famous person who gave some great advice. This is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com, the positive boost you need every single day. Life begins when you move. We understand that. When we get knocked down, what do? Well, we stand up, we take a step, we repeat. Just keep going till you get what you want. It's that simple. Why would you stop before you got there anyway, huh? Why would you? That's kind of crazy. Why would you ever stop? It's good to have you here today. My name is Scott Smith, founder, chief motivating officer at motivationtomove.com. So many new people coming in. Happens every year this time of year, in January, of course. Thinking to themselves, hey, I found this motivation show called The Daily Boost, but that dude sounds like a radio guy or an announcer of some type. Man. Yeah, it used to be. I gave it up. It was too much pizza. Free t-shirts for school. I gave it up. Got a real job. That was about 25 years ago. I had a question from one of my newbies who came in as well, and they said, I notice you have like 400 shows on your catalog right now. I've done 4,500 of them. We don't have those available right now. We've got 400 or so available right now. And they said, I see some of them cover what seems to be the same kind of topic, like morning routines or habits, things like that. And I wonder, should I listen to them or is just one? I said, no, you should listen to them all because there are certain things we need to talk about all the time, like habits or success or procrastination or goal setting. We have to talk about that all the time. And so I go back on original material, but then I redo it totally. I just shake it up and do it brand new based on new current thoughts. So if you go back and say you hit the catalog and you want to talk about mornings, like we'll do on this Monday, I think, there's probably 15, 20 shows in there about morning routines. You ought to listen to it. Anyway, I think it's time to get moving on today's show because I want to tell you a story. I'm one of the few people that actually has this story. I hope anyway, although I've heard it everywhere. I've heard it all over the place because it's all about getting what you want in life. And this time of year, that's what we do. And we all step and we start running toward what we want to do, and then life gets in the way. And that's the kind of whole gig around here, right? But there is a way to get there, and it's an easy way to get there. And all you have to do is take a couple steps. Stand up, take a step, repeat. But I'll never forget a day a long time ago. It was in the late 80s, actually. And a friend called me. I was in radio at the time. I was doing DJ stuff, announcer stuff, voiceover stuff all over the place. And he called me and said, "Hey, you got a voice. You want to introduce somebody?" I said, "Well, who?" Well, Rob was calling me. He was an event promoter, and he had snagged a chance to book an up-and-coming comedian. His name at the time, and still today, Jerry Seinfeld. Book him into a local venue about 15 minutes from my house. Now, he needed somebody to warm the audience up with an introduction to Jerry. And as a guy that had been in radio, been on stage a lot, I've done a lot of warm-ups for comedians and bands and everything else, kind of what you do in your radio. So I said, "Yeah." Get free bar tab, too. I was all in. I agreed to cover everything he needed to be covered, just get it all done, hang out with Jerry a little bit before the show. I wanted that more than anything, actually. I didn't really care about the bar tab. I wanted to meet Jerry. I didn't want to just announce him and not meet him. Anyway, again, it was 1986-ish in that area. Jerry's TV show, The Seinfeld Show, was in development still. I know that because that's what we talked about before the show. I was backstage kind of hanging out with a guy. And listen, it's a lonely life on the road. It is. And they don't want to be talking about, how'd you get famous? What's it like? They just want to hang with somebody who have a conversation with them and eat some veggies, which is what he was doing. And sipping sparkling water. I believe it was Perrier. It was the 80s, after all. I never forget how focused he was. He was completely locked in and focused, not just for the show that day, but he was locked in and focused his entire life. That was a conversation. That's what he was doing. He was talking about how he travels and his rhythm and his routine and what he does. I asked how he managed to keep going because I met a lot of these guys, a lot of these entertainers on the road. It's a hard life. It looks cool to be out in a tour bus or like a comedian driving a rented, whatever it is. I can't even think of a car right now. It's difficult, hotel to hotel. It's a hard job. So I asked him, I said, "How do you keep moving?" He said, I know exactly what I want. He knows exactly what he wants. Clarity, the number one key to getting what you want. Whatever you're heading off on right now, do you know exactly what that is? Could you clearly state it? Can you see it in your mind? He said, "I'm a comedian. I have to be funny." Makes sense to me. The only way to be funny is to write funny jokes. You can't just stand up and try to be a comedian. You got to write funny jokes and test them. You got to do that. The only way to write funny jokes is to write every day. So I write funny jokes every day. I said, "You write funny jokes every day?" Okay, not every day. They're not all funny. And I put a big red X on the calendar. Eventually, there is a chain of X's on the calendar. And my goal is simply not to break the chain. And then he literally said, "Don't break the chain," in a very Seinfeld sort of way. Now, I have heard this story over the years. I've heard it. I've read it on the internet everywhere. I'm one of the few, I think, that actually had the conversation in person. I don't think I overheard. No, I was there. I have the pictures to prove it. In person, don't break the chain. Now, as we get into 2023, the chain is going to be broken on about the 20th or 21st of January. The chain might have started January 1st, or it's going to start this Monday, the 9th of January, because everybody's coming back from their vacations and everything else, right? So you're going to start something. You're going to start your diet. You're going to start your exercise plan, start saving money. You're going to start all that stuff. And the vast majority of people who start are going to miss. They're going to miss. You're going to break the chain. A quick story. I've never really journaled a lot. I write in my business and my life all day, every day doing stuff. So I've never felt the need to journal. And I decided to start journaling. And I had a very interesting experience this week because I got a busy day going. I journaled on the 1st and on the 2nd and on the 3rd, and then the 4th came. It was kind of busy that day. My daughter and her family are living here with us right now. It's been fun to have them here, but it got busy, and then they said it's Wine Wednesday, and they brought out a bottle of wine, and I'm like, "Oh, wait a second. Let's have a glass of wine." I did. And suddenly I remembered that I hadn't written my journal entry for the day. So I walked back in. I opened up my day one, which I'm using on the Mac right now. And I began to write. And my first sentence was, "I almost broke a chain. Almost broke the chain." And I wrote about 50 words. That was it. But you know what I did? Rather than tell you what I did, I'll tell you what I didn't do. I didn't break the chain. Might not have been perfect. Like Jerry's jokes might not have been funny. Didn't matter. Floss your teeth every single day. Brush your teeth a couple of times a day. Don't break the chain. If you do, you got to start over again. Stop smoking, stop drinking, stop eating. Doesn't matter. You break the chain, you got to start over again. The people who don't break the chain are the ones who will eventually get everything they want because it compounds on itself. Your day-to-day actions focused in the direction of your goals, compound every single day. Everything gets easier, gets more automatic. You rise, and as you rise, you go to another level. Then you do it again. You go to another level. It's the day-to-day, continuous, not breaking the chain that gets you there. Good way to think, easy way to think. You don't have to work at that too much. All you have to do is remember, don't break the chain. Okay, coming up on Monday, I've already got that show ready. We're going to talk about morning routines on Monday, a little morning madness. I'm going to break it down to a very simple way that I have discovered to do it. Works for me. It's one simple word that will make your mornings change. That's on Monday's show. Join me in my Facebook group at dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. We got some stuff coming up, some announcements too, once everybody gets back in the saddle again. Maybe talk about that next week a little bit. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday.